look at that room. Can you hear me back there? Cool. Well, yeah, how do I follow that? Holy cow, Andrew and Darren, amazing. Anyway, we'll get to it. I do have notes because I have nerves tonight. Normally I can talk off the cuff, but not in this situation. Woo! So yeah, speaking of that, I was getting ready earlier today and I'm like, okay, I don't know, what do I wear? Like, that's one of the most important questions I can think of coming in to do comedy. Like, what do I wear? What do I do with, pick an outfit? Holy crap, that's really important. So I thought, okay, think back now, what did you wear the first time you lost your virginity? Well, how about a smile and a little bit of lipstick? Speaking of getting arrested, I thought it might not be a good idea. My son's in the audience tonight. That might not be smart to do. So a lot of talk about sex, talking about anal sex, etc. When's the last time you got laid? Anybody? This morning! Who did it in the bathroom before the show started? I want to know that. Okay. We all know Darren. We know Darren's been quite a long time. It changes from 7 to 8 years, so I'm guessing it's 7.5, 7, something like that. Well, let me tell you, you might be guessing yours. I can tell you mine exactly. Okay? So I do have to go to my notes because there's numbers and I never remember those numbers. It equates to 2,841 days or 68,184 hours, or even better, 4,091,040 minutes. That's how long it's been. Not quite to the minute because I didn't count since I've been here. And again, you know what? Who's counting anyway, really? But people who know me, and there's a lot of people in the room that do know me, you know that I'm a little bit competitive, and no, just a tiny, tiny bit. So I thought, I'm going to make this fun. Darren, I've met you a couple times. You're on my Facebook. I've sent you many words of encouragement. Took a few shots at you a few times. Tonight, I'm going to challenge you to a bet, my friend. I'm challenging you to a bet. Because I think 7 years and 9 months and so many hours is probably where I'm at about now. So I'm going to challenge you to a bet similar to what they did in Seinfeld. So how many people used to watch Seinfeld? You remember the episode in Seinfeld when they had the bet amongst the friends, right? Master of your own domain, right? Okay. It's similar to that, Darren, but I would never take that away from you because after 8 years, you need to masturbate, my friend. But the bet is who can go the longest without having sex. Okay? And, I don't know. If you win that bet, you're kind of losing and you're kind of winning at the same time. So, I'm not sure what the outcome will be, what the prize will be, but you're on for the bet, okay? Another interesting thing I came across, again, a lot of my material comes from my friends, and you look around the room, you'll understand why I got so much material. I love you all, trust me. That's why I use the material. I have a couple of friends actually from Newfoundland, and did you know, ladies and gentlemen, you know that Newfoundland has a lot of interesting place names. There is a place in Newfoundland, honest to God, that's called Dildo, Newfoundland. No word of a lie, Dildo, Newfoundland. And I thought, now how the heck do they go around and advertise for this and promote this place on the tourism site? So I decided to look it up. So I went online and I'm on the computer and Googling Dildo, Newfoundland. And I get the Newfoundland tourism site, and it's basically the slogan for Newfoundland tourism is the wild rock with a friendly disposition. So what did an explorer think of when they showed up on the rock and went, wow, I think I'll call this place Dildo? I don't know what they were thinking. 50 Shades of Grey. Who has read 50 Shades of Grey? And I can't see you well because of the light. Yeah. You can admit it here, really. Your secret's safe. It is. You're very safe. Remember the safe word. You can trust me. Actually, submit to me. Or I'll have to spank you. Now this is directed to the women in the audience, and I'm doing this because I want to see you. Of the women who've read this book, who has an inner goddess? I want to know if you got an inner goddess. Nobody's got an inner goddess? Thank God. Because what exactly is an inner goddess anyway? Is this a pet name for a vagina? Is it some kind of weird code for orgasm? I don't know. Maybe it's equal rights, and I actually, as a feminist, will say equal rights. Men name their penises, for God's sake. So why shouldn't we have names for a vagina? Makes sense, right? You know, again, all the guys I know, they got a pretty close relationship with their penis. If I say the words Mr. Happy, okay, you all know what that means. I want to know if there's a thesaurus, though, for writers who write the sex scenes for these books. So you're going along and, you know, typing away, and you're an author, and you're going through and you're going, okay, I got to write another sex scene, because you know 50 Shades of Grey is full of sex scenes, right? So we get to the sex scene, it's like, okay, I've already used throbbing member, so what other word can I possibly find? Alright, well, maybe I'll use manhood. Nah, that's not right. Okay, I'm gonna check my thesaurus. I know, by the way, do you have more than one thesaurus? Is it called thesauri? So I'm going through and like, okay, I'm gonna find another word. And the best one that I could find, because I actually found an online thesaurus for this, rod of pleasure. Now there's a word for you. There's very descriptive. So anyway, I've been reading 50 Shades, and as you know, that's the cool way of calling that book. You don't actually call it 50 Shades of Grey, or it shows that you're really uncool. And I found myself actually getting angry. Like, I'm this feminist, and I'm reading this book, and all I could do is scream, and anybody who's read it knows Anna is like the main female character. And all I could do was yell at her and screaming at this book and going, Anna, what the hell are you doing? Fucking tie him up, for Christ's sake. Forget your inner goddess. Try to check in with your inner dominatrix. So at this point in my life, I'm really just looking for a man who doesn't have to pop a Viagra in the morning to get up out of bed. And I think it would be wise to find somebody whose affairs are in order, and I'm talking financial affairs, because whoever decides to take me on first is probably not going to survive. Okay? After, what was it again, 2,800 something days, I'm sorry, but you're not going to make it, guy. I'm sorry. You're just not going to make it. So it's going to be kind of difficult to find a mature man who has a will and has a decent life insurance policy and doesn't pop Viagra, unfortunately. Speaking of drugs, good segue. I have a very good friend, I won't mention this person's name, who when she was younger made a lot of trips to Mexico. Down on one trip, and this was before Mexico got all scary and shit like it is now for Canadians. You don't go down there now unless you want to be decapitated or something. She went down on a visit and had a great time, decided when she was down there to try dropping acid for the first time. Okay? Foreign country, does not speak the language. Alright? So she's down in Mexico, she's like, okay, I'm going to drop acid. Man, this is great. In her hotel room, decides to go out on the balcony, she's tripping, sitting out watching what's going on. All of a sudden things start to shake. She's like, holy shit, what's going on? Fuck. And then she looks around and she realizes a fucking earthquake. First time she drops acid in Mexico, and she's in the middle of a fucking earthquake. Now you understand why I have the friends I have. So, how many people here go to rock concerts or live music concerts? Anybody get to go see Bruce Springsteen, the Boss, last Friday? Anybody get to go? Oh, I wish I had had tickets. That would have been a good show. I understand it was a really good show. 4 hours of non-stop rock. Well, the one thing that I've noticed going to concerts, and I've been going to concerts for a long time, because in case you didn't know, I'm a woman of a certain age, and I would say I've been going to concerts since the 70s. So one thing has changed is you go to a concert now, there's no haze over the crowd anymore, okay? I don't get that sweet smell of marijuana when I go to a concert anymore, alright? So I'd like to know what the fuck happened, people. It's the same fucking people. They were there 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, and now they're there again, and they're sitting there at a Meatloaf concert at the GM Center. He's rocking out Bat Out of Hell, and they're... This is a great concert, don't you think? Isn't this great? It's not fucking Lawrence Bulk, okay? It's Meatloaf. Anyway, I know my time's probably getting short, but that's me. I'm going to take, and I'm going to read this because I need to get this line right. I'm taking my inner goddess, my inner feminist, out on the town, find myself a guy with a really good insurance policy, and keep looking for that great haze in a concert. Thanks very much.